Hey everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. It's a chance where really we're talking about missions and what it all involves, and it's a chance for you to learn a little bit more about missions. Hope you enjoy.
Today we're going to paint a picture, a little bit about what we do when we're back in the United States. And so, Adrian, my question would be, what is itineration or furlough? Missionaries use these words for the stateside assignments, and can you just explain a little bit what that means?
Yeah, so we refer to our time back in our passport country, which is, of course, for us, USA, furlough or itineration. And for Assembly of God ministers, it's usually like a time of about a year where we are connecting with supporters and supporting churches. It involves a lot of travel, a lot of speaking engagements, preaching, lunch meetings. It's all about connecting. And really what we want to do is to let others know what's going on in Mozambique. And for us, it's a time of building relationships with pastors and churches and our supporters, people that have been faithfully supporting us. And it's just nice to have like face-to-face contact with people. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do. Other mission agencies, they might take like a 3-month or 6-month furlough, or they might call it a stateside assignment. And that's really what it is. It's a stateside assignment. It's really a designated time where we're speaking and talking about missions and really trying to engage like people in missions and what it means to be a missionary or that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for sharing that.
So I'm going to have a follow-up question with what I answered. So Joel, can you kind of expound on what preaching and meetings and traveling, can you expound on that?
Sure. Yeah, it's a lot of travel. We have somewhere around 100 different supporters, and so to try to connect with each one of them while we are in the United States is important. And so sometimes, if it's a church, we have opportunities to share in the main service, and sometimes that's preaching like a message with adding updates from what's been happening in Mozambique, kind of mixed into a longer like full 30-40 minute message, or if we go African style, it gets a little bit longer than that. But and then other churches, it's they invite us to come in just to do like a 5 to 10 minute window for a missions emphasis part of their service. So we see that. Sometimes you do a window in the adult service, and then you jump from kids' church to whatever they have else going on. So sometimes they have 2 different kids' churches divided up in age groups. So we can share in each one of those with the kids, and that's always a fun time just to expose the kids in our churches to missions, because God is calling, and so that's pretty much in churches, and then we just take time after service to be able to meet with and answer questions to whoever might have a question and might want more information. So that and then if we are visiting individual supporters, we have some of those, and so sometimes we can have a meal with them, or just sit in the living room and just discuss what God has been doing in Mozambique, and also casting vision for when we head back to Mozambique, what are the different projects or ministry that we're going to be involved in. So it kind of shifts depending on really what we're invited to do, and we kind of just cater to whoever has reached out and invited us. And so we're anxious and trying to get to each church so that we can give an update. It's always, like Adrian said earlier, it's always fun to have face-to-face conversation with people and just to be able to share what really God's been doing through our partnership in Mozambique. So that's pretty much what entails our travel time here in the United States until we head back over to Mozambique to continue the work.
Yeah. And I love like how you said partnership, because that's what it is. It's a partnership. We could not do what we do without our partners, the church, and the people that support us. So you've clearly answered the questions about furlough and itinerating, and you've touched on connecting with supporters and reconnecting. But what does it entail, like as far as like fundraising and that kind of thing?
Yeah, fundraising, that's part of what we do as well. Obviously, we're connecting and reporting back to what the partnership over the previous years has accomplished. And then part of our itineration is fundraising. And so sometimes when people ask, well, how long are you going to be here? How long are you before you go back to Mozambique? When are you going back to Mozambique? A lot of those questions are hard to answer because Adrian and I are responsible to raise our own missions budget. And so missions giving in the Assemblies of God doesn't go to just a general fund, and then they divvy it up between all the missionaries. Each missionary family has to raise their own funds. And so we do that by our invitation into our Assemblies of God churches and other churches, and then with different individuals. But our budgets are set by the Assemblies of God World Missions. And then we look at, usually, in our case, we've been doing this for 20 plus years. So we have a base of support that we go on. So we just look at the increase, what they've increased our budget at. And then, we're looking to raise two different types of a budget. We have a cash budget, and then we have a monthly support budget. And so both of those we're just sharing with people, and as God touches people's hearts, and people are generous in their giving, and we raise the funds, and then we get to go back. So to be able to say itineration takes X amount of months is very difficult, because we don't know where we'll be and where God will open someone's heart that will want to partner with us. And so we're looking at some of our partners that have been with us for a long time. Sometimes they are able to increase by a little bit, and that helps raise the budget. And then we're also looking for new partnerships with different churches or individuals. So how long it takes is a very difficult question. Usually, as Adrian mentioned in the very beginning, a year, but we've never done that. So
No, it's always taken us longer.
So we're kind of, the last time was we raised our budget, and then COVID happened, and that delayed us from getting out. The itineration before that, I was diagnosed with cancer, and that kind of threw that off just a little bit. So each time in the States is a little bit different, but part of we share, and we're also trying to raise our budget at the same time. So that's the task at hand. That's where we are now. So, well, that was a lot about the fundraising side. But Adrian, what's one of the other? And fundraising is important. Obviously, you need the finances to go. Mm-hmm. But what is the most vital thing that, when we're sharing with different partners, what's the most vital thing that we're really asking for?
Yeah, the most important thing that we need is prayer. It is your prayers that keeps us there on the field, and it's your prayers that open up doors. It's your prayers that the Lord uses to change hearts, and we would not be able to do what we do without the Lord moving on hearts. So it's not only about connecting with people and raising the money, but it's really about raising prayer support, because honestly, it is the most important thing. I would not go without prayer support. It would be foolish to go without people praying behind us. There have been times when people have messaged us and been like, I really sensed that I needed to pray for you, or are you going through anything? What's happening there in Mozambique? Because you've been on my heart and mind lately, so we've been praying for you. And those messages always come at the right time. It's always during some kind of, I don't know if it's like a difficulty or a challenge or like a spiritual battle. And we know that God uses prayers and he opens doors and he breaks chains and he does what he does because people are praying. So thank you for all of the support and prayers that you guys have. You've really carried us. And so it is a team effort. And yeah, you are touching Mozambique. You are wherever you have missionaries, if your church is sending other missionaries to other places, when you're praying for them, you are touching those countries for the gospel. So please don't underestimate the power of prayer and how important that is. So we just want to say thank you.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and we just hope that this video helps clarify a couple things about what missionaries do when they're not in their countries of service. And so we just want to say thank you. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your partnership. And please like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next video. So God bless you all.